Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the Real Housewives of Miami. This is Season 7, Episode 1. I want to thank and I appreciate everyone for coming to this channel. Thank you for stopping by. While you're here, press that like button to let me know that you are in great support. It's a free way to support me. You can also subscribe if you are new. Welcome. Come on in. Get all this goodness over here. And you can leave your comments below. Now let's get into this episode. Okay. So there is a dinner with Gertie and Alexia, and Lisa joins them. They talk a little bit about Lisa. She's going to be walking in the Milan Fashion Week Fashion Week show. And Larsa's going to be coming too. I said, ooh, okay. I think it's great that we're seeing Milan already. Okay, so this episode, I'm going to try not to bash other shows. Because I'm not a real fan if I'm not licking up those black shows like that. And I'm not saying black shows as being derogatory or anything. I'm from stuff that I've seen online. Has really gotten on my nerves. But anyways, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try not to do it. I'm going to try not to do it. They talk a little bit about Alexia and all that good stuff. We move on to Larsa and her son Preston. He's 22. He's going to be walking in the fashion show. One of her friends, I think his name is Philip Fenn. He has his show that's coming up. That also Lisa's going to be walking into. Wanted Larsa. Larsa said no, she didn't want to do it because it's obvious as to why she wouldn't do it. I don't know why. I guess she's not the model type, or she's going to walk and something will happen. I don't know. But anyways, she offered Preston the spot. And the dude ended up saying okay to Preston being there. I guess Preston's doing a little bit of content creating and all of that. He's in college. And Larsa wants to open the door for him. She does say later on in one of her confessionals, she's like, look, I don't want him to do too well because I still want him to get an MBA while he's in school and all that good stuff. Like, do this on the side, but hey, make sure that you do what you need to do to secure your future. I mean, Larsa, love you. I don't know if you're the best encourager to do that. I mean, you are an OnlyFans model. No, you don't take your clothes off, but you do that to make your income. And yes, you get Scottie Pippen's alimony and all that good stuff. Cool. And that's wonderful. You were his wife for over 20 years, I believe. So you earned it. Hey. But I mean, do I need to say any more, y'all? Let me know. I mean, want the best for your child. Cool. I mean, but you're not the greatest example. However, still kudos to you. You have, what, 4 children or so with Scottie, and most are doing their thing. I think Junior, he's in the Lakers and all that. And I think Sophia, I don't know if she's graduated high school yet. But anyway, so now we move on to Alexia and Julia. They are exercising, becoming besties. They talk about the whole Lisa and Larsa thing at Jody's party. Alexia says, you know, I'm not choosing sides. She believes that both Lisa and Larsa were inappropriate, da-da-da-da-da. And that's kind of my thing, too. Because I said last week, I could see both sides. People think it's very minuscule as to what Lisa's doing as far as what even Larsa's complaint is. And, oh, well, Lisa was married to this dude. I mean, you got this dude saying that he's going to get her back in text, and you won't know it when you see, or you won't see me coming and all that stuff. That can mean a lot of things. And I don't like to bring him down, but it's just like, even Marcus is on that stuff. So how erratic is he? What is going on in his mind? And what will he do in his actions, you know? So it can be quite crazy, in my opinion. You don't know what he's capable of. And he's already saying that I'm going to come at you. So I'm sorry. I get Larsa's side, and it's hard that you've been so pro Lisa and then you can't do one thing. That's her argument. And we'll get into that a little bit later. So then Julia goes into all of her complaints about Gertie in regards to missing the Zoom, and then she gets the link, or she's asking for another link. She said, don't worry about it. You'll know the news when it comes out. It comes out, and I guess Gertie texts, congrats. And that was something very offensive to her. Okay. Then Julia was supposed to go on a cruise with Martina. Martina had a health scare, and Gertie offered to step in for her so that she doesn't have all this anxiety, and also won't have Martina on her mind in a way that she can't focus on whatever she has to do on this cruise. So she comes, but Julia says that Gertie made it all about her. It was about publicity, herself, and PR, and a dinner reservation. This dinner reservation did not seat both her and Gertie, Julia and Gertie together. She was someplace else, and she ended up saying something to Julia. Hey, why aren't we sitting together? Da 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 da. Like, it was quite uncomfortable to me and for me, and I can see Gertie's point. You know, I did offer to come. What type of cruise was this for real? Like, I was there to support you in the time that you needed, because you were still going on this cruise instead of being with your seasoned wife and all that good stuff. And I'm at a dinner. I don't know these people. I only know you. And you got me all the way over here. And I think that is rude. I think that's rude. So it's about making it about her. Okay. That's not cool. That's not cool. But these complaints are quite crazy. Alexia was talking about, well, I don't really know what Gertie has going on in her life. Do you call Alexia? I mean, does Gertie call you? Also, I didn't know you guys to be close anyways. Wasn't there something like in season 5, y'all were kind of, or 4? Yeah, it was 5. I don't know. You were trying to punk her out and to think less of her, Alexia. So, hey. I don't know where y'all at with your relationship. I don't think you're trying to find out. But as long as Julia is kissing the ring, because we know this is Alexia's show. They talk about Todd and all that stuff. She was saying, well, right now, you know, the ball is in Todd's court right now, and I think I'm going to have to accept it. No, it's not, ma'am. No, it's not. And then you start crying in Julia's bosom and all that stuff. All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this much. I'm not sorry. The Lisa and Larsa beef, I do find it comical. And the reason I find it comical is because I know that their beef, they mean it. As far as every nasty thing that they'll say to each other. But I know in the end, those two heifers, they're going to get it together and be friends again. So it's like, seeing these two go back at each other is quite interesting, you know, and funny to me. I don't take it too serious as what I'm trying to tell you guys. And I know that they are serious about what they are fighting about, even though it's not that serious, in my opinion, if you get what I'm saying. Lisa and Larsa find out that they have the same flight together. Lisa says, you know, they didn't talk, da-da-da-da-da. But then they find out after they arrive in Milan, Italy, they have the same car. I said, this is all production. This is all production. And I thank them for it. So Larsa's in there first, and then she finds out, oh, they got to share a car. Preston moves to the front. Lisa comes in, and Jody comes in, da-da-da-da. It's quite awkward and all that good stuff. Larsa says, you know, I guess eventually we'll have a talk or whatever, but this is Preston's thing, and I don't want anything to go on to overshadow that. Then next thing you know, I know this was an editing trick, she starts going in on how she feels about how Jody and Lisa choose to be in position with Marcus at this point. Da-da-da-da-da. And at the end, they're trying to explain their position and all that. And she was like, go ahead and choose Marcus over me. Da-da-da-da-da. I've been Lisa's friend for 15 years, and I've always chosen Lisa over every situation. Da-da-da-da-da. But y'all go ahead. Then Lisa brings up, like, look, all this stuff I don't really want to fight about and talk about. You know, my dad is dying. He's got a week to live. And then Larsa said, then if he has a week to live, what are you doing here? I said, oh, Larsa. I mean, did she lie? Did she lie, y'all? But that's a cut and a point for Larsa. That didn't go too well for Lisa, but she talks about it more with Jody later on. Gertie and Russell, they are at her doctor's appointment, and she's trying to get reconstructive surgery on her breast. Before the surgery, she had implants in. She took them out. I think she was a size double D. I didn't know she was that big. But I think she said that, DD or whatever. But y'all let me know, the women, y'all let me know. And now she's down to a B. And what she's trying to do is to take fat tissue from her back and someplace else and to have that in her breast. One breast is fine, and another breast with the nipple is going a different way. And the doctor ended up explaining that there's still some stuff that's going on that's still within the breast that I'm just saying this, I don't know what it is, but please don't get on me, but it feels like there's probably some type of scar tissue or something there. I'm just saying that in simplest terms as something that may be going on there. That's it. But maybe it's probably more than that. So don't get on me on that. But anyways, Gertie is a perfectionist, and she's been having all of these surgeries to get her breasts right and all that good stuff. She's gained weight, and she just wants Russell to see her as beautiful and sexy. I don't think that Russell doesn't see her as beautiful and sexy. He wants her to be okay, as he's expressing, and all that good stuff. You know, it's like, you can tell that he doesn't really want her to go through any surgery. He just wants her to, you know, you can chill. You're all right. You're my boo, you know? But she doesn't feel that way about herself. I know some people online were saying, I wish Russell just understood that all she needs is someone to make her feel beautiful and all that. I don't know if Russell's not doing that. I don't know. I think this is an internal thing for Gertie that she's going to have to go through and really deal with. And she may just need to have a counselor just to talk her through this. This is something that has been life-changing for her. You know, I can't just say, I think that the mode that he's in, okay, we got over the worst, but we're still having all these surgeries and still dealing with all of this. I want you to be okay. That's all I care about right now. I want you to be okay, because I'm not switching over to just relaxing because I want the surgeries done and all that good stuff. I think that Russell is supportive as much as he can throughout all the life changes that are going on. So do I put any blame on Russell? No. It's a lot. And maybe they need to have counseling together for this. But y'all can tell me what y'all think. Marisol and Steve. Marisol and Steve, they're getting married. They had this symbolic wedding some time ago, and now they want to get a real wedding, but it's going to still be simple. They just want to go to the courts and get it done. I mean, Marisol, she's got to be in her late 50s to early 60s or so all that other pomp and circumstances that so many people want, that's not on her radar. But shout out to my girl, Miss Bell Perspective. She just released her engagement photos, and she looks fire. That red on her fiance, they look good in them colors. So go check her out. Go check out her video. But yeah, congratulations to her and her upcoming wedding. But anyways, yeah, so they're getting married in a week or so. They talk about Alexia and Todd. I didn't know this, and that Marisol felt that Alexia has been a different person while dealing with Todd and being married to him. She's not the same, and Todd brings out the worst in her. And she believes that Todd puts so much stress on her and belittles her. And he's making her quite angry. And she just goes off on people, and she's like, that's not my friend, and all that good stuff. Constantly picking on her. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I think that Marisol's been a good friend. I'm sure Marisol has had some behind-the-scenes conversations like, hey, da-da-da-da-da. For the most part, she's supporting Alexia. Like, if you want it, good for you. But don't expect me to celebrate it. I'm going to be there for you, and if you want this knucklehead, cool. Whatever. But I don't like it. So it was good to see that, and Marisol's in a different place. Look, they are broken up, and they need to stay that way. Back in Italy, they're back at Larsa and Preston are back at the hotel, and Larsa wants to know, what do you think about that conversation? Because Lisa was thinking, okay, why are you having this conversation with your child here? I mean, y'all are filming scenes, but I definitely understand what you're talking about, Lisa. Preston was basically like, look, because she talked about, Larsa talked about Lisa's dad only having a week to live, and Preston was like, that's their business. Don't be confrontational about stuff, da-da-da-da-da. About what they got going on. And Preston was right. However, I don't think that, I mean, Lisa brought it up. So I don't think that Larsa was wrong in bringing that up. Like, Lisa, go be with him. On the flip side, what can Lisa do? They're basically sitting there waiting for him to transition. Of course, she could have her time with him. They just made up and all that good stuff. I don't know how she's close with her other family and all that good stuff, and that might be an issue too. So we don't know all the circumstances, but hey, I don't know what the right thing to do in this whole situation. So, but y'all can decide in the comments. Jody and Lisa have their own conversation. Lisa's like, I can't believe that Larsa said that about my dad, da 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 da. And Jody said, you know, I had to interject when she was saying all this stuff. Like, I didn't even know that this stuff was even on the internet. So to me, it feels like whatever Joey and Marcus have going on, he doesn't bring up Larsa to him, as far as we know, you know. But he said, I didn't even know that that story came out in the blogs of what Marcus was suggesting about her. So he said, you know, there are more serious things going on. We don't have time to really deal with that. So Larsa and Preston, they visit, I think it's Philip Finn, getting him ready so that he can present himself right on the model walk, getting his attire together. And this dude, look, one thing about other countries and how they feel about Americans, like, it's a lot of different countries, like for real. So they're like, look, how he wants to dress is not how we do it over here in Italy. That's the American way of doing it. Da 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 da. They showing his fit. He's got his shoelaces a certain way, like it's just like a little boy. Look, a lot of this stuff, if you're in the industry at all, you got to have tough skin. So it's not somebody just being outwardly rude, but we don't have time to waste, and we got this model walk, and we got to make sure that he's good and ready, because you're not going to mess it up for me and what I'm now risking, because I wanted you, Larsa, and now he's saying to Larsa, he better not F it up. And then he mentions, like, what's going on with Blondie, Larsa? You can tell that Larsa and this dude are friends and all that good stuff, because he's only being this catty with her, talking like two friends or whatever because of her, you know. But anyways, it was funny to me. They were talking about her possibly stumbling and falling on the walkway. We get a flashback of her probably doing that. Da 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 da. It's funny. All right, so Alexia, she has a dinner for her friend Johnny. Johnny was, I remember him a lot during season 4 and a little bit of season 5, I think, but more season 4, because Alexia's second husband had passed away. We found out that Alexia basically was this dude's beard. He was gay, and he had a gay lover. A lot of stuff came out after he passed away, and Johnny was the go-between between Alexia and the gay lover. It wasn't a messy type of situation, but they kind of just wanted to resolve things, as far as even with the dude's death and all that, with the husband's death and all that. So I think they ended up meeting and having a conversation. I don't think that he came on camera. I can't remember exactly what happened, or if Johnny was just the go-between. I can't remember, and they just exchanged messages between each other. But anyways, Johnny moved somewhere. I didn't write it down, but he moved overseas. Madrid. When the news broke about Todd and Alexia, he booked a flight for Alexia and said, "You're coming over here. You need some time to get away from this ish that's going on." But it was cool to see Johnny again. Alexia invited Marisol, of course, Kiki, and Julia. Whom she didn't have on the list was Adriana and also Gertie. She said, I want it to be about Johnny. I don't want it to be about anyone else. Why would it be that way, Alexia? And now people are online saying that you and Julia are in an alliance to ice out Gertie and Adriana. I get why Adriana would probably not be invited, because I know that you're embarrassed because of everything that Adriana said before was true. Anyways, they talk about Todd at this dinner. There's been no action on the case within 5 months of filing. And since the courts are picking it up and just saying, look, you got to do something about this, either pursue it or you need to drop the case. Kiki said, you know, this is not the Alexia that I'm used to seeing. And she's really just being quite docile towards this man. And you need to get your power back. Alexia goes into what Todd says his problem is with Alexia and what's going on. He didn't really like how he was represented on the show. He liked it at first, but then, I mean, to me, I thought Todd was fine on the show. Last season, it seemed interesting because now he was on display because the ladies were questioning his finances. Then all of a sudden, he disappeared off camera. And we're like, what's going on? Alexia, like a fool, offered to step away from the cameras. I said, Alexia, this is your show. Like, you are the anchor of the show. I'm sorry, you're the Nene, the Teresa of this franchise. And even though I don't like saying it, the Kyle Richards. Cause whatever. Let me stop. Anyways, you are, and you're just gonna give that up for a man. He wants to control the narrative and doesn't want to be perceived a certain way. He always wants to be seen in the best light. And at this point, Alexia starts spilling tea about, you know, you have this fake rented house, this fake rented car, and all that stuff. Marisol says, I knew it. There we go. Everyone gets a narcissist in their life, and she calls it a narc or whatever. And everybody's like, well, what are you going to do? She's like, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of filing for a divorce, because he'll turn it and spin it like she did something wrong or she's the villain. No, it's all on you, buddy. But I'm just going to say this, Alexia. I'm not going to be tied to some fool that don't see you for who you are. And basically, he wants control, as they did mention during this dinner. And also, she wants this whole, he wants to dim your light. And they also bring up, look, there's really no going back after he was able to just do what he did in front of your child, Frankie's face. Moving and packing and all that in front of his face, and left him just like that, didn't care, blah, 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 blah. It's crazy. But now that we know that Todd is a fake bit, you know, like, no, And a lot of these men cannot handle when these women become famous or have influence and have power and all that good stuff. They just want a good piece of arm candy, a mattress, and a mule. You may not even have to be a mule. If the money is right, I'll hire someone. But, you know, when I need the sex, give it to me. And that's about it, unfortunately. So, in the end, Alexia said, F Todd. Now I need to see if she will hold up to that. So, it's cool that you're doing this right now. All right, so the last few scenes, the Philip Finn show, Preston came out. He was kind of the opener. One of Larsa's friends said, you know, he kind of opened for the show. So he must really like him. Larsa said that she thinks that Preston did really well, and she thought that he wasn't going to do well. Okay. Some people had opposing views online, but I'll leave that there. Lisa came out and all that good stuff, and I guess Larsa at this time had on this camera light, I guess kind of distracting, or at least Lisa was distracted by it, and she said, look, Larsa's trying to be distractive and all that, but the spotlight's still on me. Lisa looked good. Now, you know, Lisa really got that, you know, she's Jamaican and all that stuff, so she got that more, you know, our kind of hair, for real. So it does puff out. So I was glad to see her hair be poofy instead of the normal hairstyle that she usually wears. So she looks cute and all that good stuff. Later on, they went to this club, and Fabulous, the rapper, is there. And they said, you know, she was like to each other, the girls were, we're not going to talk about it, we're not going to have no conversation. And then all of a sudden, it comes up in conversation. Larsa's talking to Fabulous on what the situation is. Lisa tells her side and all that. And Fabulous is like, look, you can't be disrespecting her in her home. And Lisa was like, yeah, he's on my side. See that? But she said, and he also said she wouldn't be disrespecting you, Lisa, if you weren't doing this to her. So the disrespect is coming because she feels disrespected by you. So although Lisa thinks that Fabulous is on Lisa's side, it still seems like he's on no one's side and just giving wisdom at what needs to happen. And Larsa said, look, ain't nothing changing until you do what you need to do. And then Jody goes missing. It looks like Lisa and Larsa were on a better page. We get a little flash forward of what's coming on the next episode. And then Jody didn't like it, and he was being crazy. And then she shows this picture, and something else happened. I don't know. But anyways, I'm still enjoying this Lisa and Larsa beef. But y'all let me know. Julia, you're whack. Alexia, you're whack if you're going to sit up here and try to ice out Gertie. That's done nothing to you. And you know that Julia's not even making sense right now. All that good stuff. Gertie, I'm praying for you to be healed, not just in your body, in your mind, and in your sexuality and all that, in your womanhood and all that good stuff. So, another good episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like this video, subscribe, and get in them comments. Until the next one, peace.